What if I told you that same-sex relationships were openly celebrated over 2,000 years ago? Buckle up, because we're about to embark on a journey through time, exploring love without limits, from ancient Rome to modern pride celebrations. Picture this. It's 130 AD, and Emperor Hadrian is strolling through the streets of Rome, hand in hand with his beloved Antinous. No one bats an eye. In fact, same-sex relationships were so common in ancient Rome that they were practically woven into the fabric of society. Roman citizens openly engaged in same-sex relationships, and it wasn't just a fringe thing. From the bustling bathhouses to the halls of power, LGBTQ+ relationships were a part of everyday life. But here's the kicker. The Romans didn't view sexuality the way we do today. They didn't have labels like gay or straight. Instead, it was all about power dynamics and social status. Let's take a dip into the steamy world of Roman baths. These weren't just places to get clean. They were social hubs where same-sex encounters were common and accepted. Imagine a world where your local gym was also a hotspot for LGBTQ+ culture. But it wasn't all about hookups. Roman art and literature are filled with beautiful depictions of same-sex love. From passionate poetry to sensual sculptures, the Romans weren't shy about celebrating all forms of love. Now, fast forward to today. As we wave our rainbow flags at pride parades, it's hard not to see echoes of those ancient Roman celebrations. But how did we get here? The road from ancient Rome to modern pride was far from straight, pun intended. After the fall of Rome, Europe plunged into centuries of LGBTQ+ repression. But the memory of Roman openness never fully faded. It inspired generations of thinkers and activists who dreamed of a world where love knew no boundaries. Fast forward to the 20th century, and we see the birth of the modern gay rights movement. The Stonewall riots of 1969 kicked off a new era of LGBTQ+ visibility and activism. But even as we fought for our rights, we were drawing on a legacy that stretched back to ancient Rome. Today's pride parades, with their joyous celebrations of diversity, would look pretty familiar to an ancient Roman. The spirit of openness and acceptance that flourished in Rome is alive and well in our modern LGBTQ+ community. But it's not just about parties and parades. The Romans showed us that LGBTQ+ people can be powerful leaders too. From Emperor Hadrian to modern-day politicians, the LGBTQ+ community has always played a crucial role in shaping our world. The legacy of Roman gay culture is everywhere if you know where to look. From art and literature to politics and law, the influence of those ancient same-sex relationships continues to ripple through time. So what can we learn from the Romans? First, that acceptance of LGBTQ+ people isn't some new radical idea. It's as old as civilization itself. Second, that societies can change. The openness of Rome gave way to centuries of repression, but we're now swinging back towards acceptance. But perhaps the most important lesson is this: love is love, no matter what century you're in. Whether you're an emperor and his beloved in ancient Rome, or a couple holding hands at a pride parade today, the human heart remains the same. As we continue to fight for LGBTQ+ rights around the world, we can draw strength from this ancient legacy. We're not just fighting for the future, we're reclaiming our past. So the next time you see a rainbow flag or attend a pride event, remember, you're part of a tradition that stretches back thousands of years. From the streets of ancient Rome to the parades of today, the spirit of love without limits lives on. And who knows, maybe 2,000 years from now, future civilizations will look back at our pride celebrations the same way we look back at ancient Rome, as a shining example of what's possible when love is allowed to flourish without boundaries. So let's keep marching, keep loving, and keep making history. Because in the end, love always wins, whether in the forum of ancient Rome or the streets of your hometown. Here's to love without limits, yesterday, today, and tomorrow.